$10.80 for corned beef, $9.80 for hot dogs, $17 for a canned pie.
The prices are too high and we can't afford to pay all that.
Many of Warruwi's 500 locals think twice before they go shopping. The only community-owned shop uses its profits to subsidise fruit, vegetables and meat, but it's not enough.
We don't want the baby to go hungry, the little one.
Australia's competition watchdog found grocery prices soared 24% in the last 5 years. In remote areas, prices were already double those in the cities.
Because of the freight, it cost a fortune to bring the groceries here.
A federal government scheme which subsidises the cost of 60 essential groceries to match city prices has rolled out in 100 remote Indigenous communities. In Warruwi, it's dropped canned stew to $4, shampoo to $2, and taken canned veg down to a few dollars.
So it's really bringing down the prices of the base products, things like your flour, meat.
People here in Goulburn Island say the federal government's subsidies on some groceries are helping, but many families are still struggling to afford enough food.
There's a lot of young children out here that don't get to eat every day because of the affordability costs.
In a region where a majority are reliant on federal government welfare benefits, local leaders want payments increased.
The government have to start looking at people on Centrelink to increase their wages because it's not fair,
We want to feed our children to go to school healthy, strong, every day.
It's something many find difficult to do now. Jane Barton, ABC News, Warruwi.
For 25 years as Chief Executive of the Arnhem Land Progress Association, Alastair King has made it his life's work to limit raising food prices in remote community stores. It's a busy job dealing with suppliers, distance and exorbitant costs across Alpa's 26 stores. As Alastair King prepares to step down from the position, he says he's never seen communities struggle so much. He spoke to Jane Barton on South Goulburn Island for Stateline NT.
Alastair King, thanks for joining Stateline. You've been leading the Arnhem Land Progress Association for 25 years now. How have you seen the cost of living change in that time?
It's always been a challenge, and even back in the 1970s people were struggling and they were saying, why are the prices so high? 1980s, same thing. 1990s when I started, it was difficult. Remembering that the economies in our remote communities are still building and evolving. So a lot of people are on social welfare. That means they're earning a very small amount of money, but they're living in some of the remotest parts of Australia, and that is very expensive.
You once said to me that you'd seen families eating wheat bakes for breakfast, lunch and dinner to get by. Is that still the case?
Oh yeah, and I think that's still true to this day, is that, when people have no money and it's the end of their pay cycle, so just before they get the next pay, they are definitely eating a lot of damper and a lot of wheat bix towards the end of that pay cycle.
What's particularly driven up prices in remote communities, and how has the Progress Association been working to try and limit the impact of that?
For a start, we are not Coles and Woolworths, so we can't attract their pricing. Our buying price is maybe 20 or 30% more than what they pay. So straight away you're behind the 8 ball. Then we've got to freight it to some of the remotest parts in Australia. We're always struggling to reduce our margins, but also renegotiating contracts with our supply chain to try and get better deals for our remote residents. But also from our community care programs, our benevolent programs, we subsidise the freight on fruit and vegetables, most dairy products, meat and chicken. And we've been doing that for 15 years.
Has the federal government subsidy scheme for some groceries in some stores made a difference?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's been really helpful. And some people don't even notice it's out there, right? But we're talking about us being able to sell those products at the same price of Coles and Woolies in the city. Well, that's just unheard of. It's just, it's really helpful for people. And since that subsidy has come in, we have seen people buying other things other than just the basic groceries.
Are you worried the subsidy scheme might not remain in place forever because governments come and go?
Yeah, look, that is always the problem with subsidies, is that governments change, policies change, bureaucrats change, department heads change, and with that can come a different view about subsidising. But this is the first time in my 30 years with ALPA that I've seen any sort of subsidy.
What more could and should governments be doing to try and ease the pressure on remote residents? Should the federal government, for example, consider looking at the level of benefits that people have in remote communities?
Absolutely they should, because if you think about it, the social welfare does not go up like wages, CPI, right? Grocery costs, they go up every year, and the last few years has been terrible with the cost of living crisis, really impacting remote customers. So their earnings don't go up at all unless the government make an effort to put them up, and it's usually not by the same as CPI.
Do you see a lot of money not being spent on essentials in communities as well?
We are concerned about the amount of money that is going to illicit alcohol in dry communities. Also, there is online gambling issues, and these are illegal sites. Where they're casino-type online gambling. A lot of people were spending money on that. And also carver in northeastern Arnhem Land is really prevalent as well. And all of those pressures make it hard for families for other things.
Alistair King, thanks for joining Stateline.
Thank you.